It's hard at the best of times, but for our next guest, these past few weeks have been particularly challenging. Here to tell us more, we're joined by the very lovely Christine McGuinness. Hello, Christine. Thank you so much for talking to us today. It's great to see you. We've been talking about challenging times, and it's, you know, difficult for parents at the best of times, in fact, Christine. But what has lockdown been like for you with your little three?
Do you know, I think, like you've just said, all parents are struggling right now. I think whether you've got children or not, this is a really difficult time. But certainly for children or adults with autism, this is really affecting them. They struggle with change. And I think we're all getting a little taste of what they experience when things change in their normal lives. Now, this is massive. It's probably the biggest change any of us are going to experience. For somebody on the spectrum, that is going to be really, really difficult, and it is affecting all three of my children. Therefore, it's affecting us as a family. It's heartbreaking to see what it's doing to them. But as a parent, as a mum, as a carer, all I can do is be there for them, love them, help them, support them, you know, as any mum would.
What can you do?
How are they reacting, Christine, your children?
So it's quite common for autistic children to have development delays anyway. As you know, I've told you about this before. They struggle with the speech, the communication, their eye contact, the food, the sensory awareness, and all of the things what they've always struggled with that we've spent years and years trying to help them with. Now it feels like we've gone back 2 years. So the speech isn't as good as it was, their eye contact isn't as good, trying to get them to engage in anything at all, even playtime, even doing something fun. They're not engaging the way they were. So that's where it's really quite upsetting and it's difficult. There's lots of positives. We're spending time together as a family that we've never done before. So that's lovely, but just the way it's affecting their development and mentally, they're really quite anxious. That's where it's really upsetting for us.
So, Christine, how do you try to explain to them what is going on in the world, or do you at all? Do you try to shield them from an awful lot of what's going on, but just to try to explain to them why they're not in school, for instance? How do you go about that?
So we've told them that everything's being cleaned and the people are getting poorly outside. So we only said that because my son asked what coronavirus was. He'd heard about it on the news. So we just said it's making people poorly, everything's being cleaned, and once it's clean, then we can go back out when it's safe. My eldest daughter, Penelope, she suffers from anxiety as well, and she hasn't asked about it. I'm shielding her more because of her anxiety. If she knew what was going on, if I said to her that people were getting poorly, then she wouldn't sleep at night. She's already, you know, lining things up more than usual. She's cleaning her toys because we've told her that things are being cleaned. I don't want them to worry any more than they already are because they're still so young, but at the same time I know it's important to educate our children. I think with autistic children and adults, I suppose, anything like this, we need to keep our instructions quite clear, quite simple, not give them too much information that's going to frighten them, but also be there if they want to talk about it. I always say to my children, if you want to ask any questions, if you want to know anything at all, you come and speak to mummy.
Christine, is there like a support network or a system that you can go to as a parent at home with autistic children? Is there anywhere to get information from, perhaps join groups where other children are in similar positions and other parents are in similar positions?
Yeah, definitely. There's so much support online. I think for me, the National Autistic Society is my go-to place. They just seem to have so much information on there. They've got call lines that can help as well. There's a huge autistic community for support. Even if I just put a post up on Instagram, it's lovely to see underneath all the comments and the parents connecting and all the carers connecting, and they end up talking to each other. You know, there is help out there, but obviously, like all charities, they're suffering right now as well. I think we've just all got to try and remember we're in this together. It's not just us. Like I said earlier, all families are struggling right now. For us, it is that bit more difficult because it is affecting our children's development.
Well, like you say, Christine, you're actually getting to spend time as a family just now. I'm assuming, like, how good is Paddy? Is he a bit of a help now that he's at home, or is he a bit more of a hindrance?
Do you know what? It's been really strange because I thought we'd hated this. If you'd have said this to me months ago, I'd have gone, no, absolutely not. You cannot put me in lockdown with him. Even though I did choose to marry him, we do get on. I would have thought we'd have hated it, but we are getting on so well. And I think it is because this is the first time in our lives that we are doing everything 50-50. The things we used to bicker about was mainly how much he was away from home, or if I wanted to work and I couldn't because he was away, or it was little things. Whereas now we're both stay-at-home parents, we're both doing the same amount of cooking, cleaning, childcare, bedtimes. So there's nothing really to argue about. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do want him to go back to work.
I'm so glad you said that, Christine, because it was all sounding so good. I thought, oh God, I've got to get my house in order.
Well, just what you saying earlier about your partners morphing into each other. Do you know my husband's gone blonde?
Has he?
I've seen it.
Where is he? Is he there?
Media.
He's with the children. He's downstairs,
I
but
wanna
he's
see
gone
that.
blonde. Yeah, yeah. I'm so jealous. Actually, his hair looks better than mine right now.
Christine, how are you so glamorous all the time?
Yeah.
I see you on social media and you do these fabulous videos.
It's filters.
I love you for being honest.
We was waiting for the secret. We was waiting for the secret. I was waiting to write it down. Which filter? That's what we want to know.
It's just on Instagram. You all look amazing, honestly. I'm so jealous that you're out the house. I mean, I've joined TikTok just to do something, just to have a bit of fun. But yeah, it's hard times, but we appreciate our health, our happiness. We've got each other. And, hopefully we'll get out as soon as it's safe and I can come down to London and see the loose women properly. I can't believe I can't touch anyone.
I know. Well, Christine, thank you honestly so much for talking to us today. It's been lovely seeing you. Please send all of our love to all the family there. I'm glad Paddy's helping out. He's actually becoming quite useful.
Finally.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Christine.
you,
Lots
ladies.
of love.
Thank you.